W.F. Howes presents an unabridged recording of A Serpent in the Garden by Howard Linskey, narrated by Alan Turton. Preface. Nothing is known about the life of William Shakespeare between 1585 and 1592, his lost years. The son of a glovemaker and disgraced wool merchant who had fallen on hard times, Will left Stratford, aged 21, with no prospects. His wife and 3 young children remained there. Will's next recorded location was London, 7 years later. Somehow, in the interim, he managed to amass a large enough sum of money to buy a partnership in a theatre company. No one knows how he did this. A recollection. When Will looked back on it, as he often did in his later years, he realized the tale had everything. There was a murder, more than one in fact, but there was also a love of a deep and lasting kind, and it had to be admitted, a fair portion of lust. Fortunes changed hands, men were elevated and some fell. There was conspiracy, intrigue and betrayal. It had its lighter, more comedic moments, when misunderstandings and mistaken identities set the course of incredible events in motion, and the stakes were almost always far too high. There was justice of a kind, for some, but not all. By God, if he threw in a shipwreck, it would have had all the makings of a damn good play. Not that he could ever have written a word of it, for he was sworn to secrecy, and would take the events of that year to his grave, or be in it sooner than he planned. In any case, who would ever have believed him? Prologue. London, 1592. Hic incipit pestis. Here begins the plague. It was a shrill and piercing scream, and it cut through the din of the streets. The click-clack of horses' hooves, the rumble of wooden cartwheels bearing heavy loads along uneven roads, the shouts of hawkers, beggars and Bible-men were drowned out for an instant. The scream was loud enough to command the attention of all, and they turned to her as one. A young, dark-haired, slender woman of perhaps 20 years had burst suddenly from the building, as if fleeing from the devil's house. But all who heard her could tell this was no cry of alarm or appeal for help. This was a wail.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?